What's going on, guys? So OMIGHTY back at it again with your weekly Rust Skins videos, and as we can see, it is the tea themed week. So we have had the new berries and tea added to the game. I still haven't actually had a chance to look at that stuff yet, besides in that German guy's videos and Shadow Frax. Check them out if you want to keep up to date with Rust. But looking at this stuff here, we've got some pretty cool looking skins, especially this tea bag, sleeping bag. But we'll start off with the weapons because we've got no clothing and armor. So we'll start off with the weapons and we'll go with the Cloudshot SMG. So overall, I do think this is a very unique looking custom skin. Custom skins are usually safe investments, and this is also above the cheapest community market price for custom SMGs. So overall, I do think that the Cloudshot SMG is going to be a safe investment. I do think that also it's going to be oversaturated. As you can see at the moment, it's the top seller. I'm not a massive fan of the fact that it's $3.60, so that is above the standard store price of the usual weapons and tools. I personally do think that's a shame. Definitely good for the skin creator, but not so good for investors, because it's obviously going to make it a longer term investment that's going to be making it a little bit harder to invest in. But overall, I still do think the Cloudshot SMG is going to make you money, just because the custom SMG skins are all above $3.60, as I just said, and custom skins are usually quite safe investments. As long as the SMG doesn't get oversaturated on the market and undercut to the max on week one, then this custom SMG should be a good medium-term investment. But if it does get undercut week one, then it will be a longer-term investment, but still will be just a little bit longer than a medium-term investment. So long to medium-term, but I do think it's going to be a good investment overall. Plus, it also has a red sight on it, although most guns do now, so I guess that doesn't really matter too much. But that also does add a little bit of value to the SMG skin as well. Right, moving over to the Rainbow Stone. So we have a new rock skin, as you can see, $3.16. I'm not sure if this one glows. I hope it doesn't. If it does glow, I'm not going to recommend investing in it at all. But if it doesn't glow, then I will still not recommend investing in it, to be honest. What I would recommend doing instead is investing in it once it's left the Rust Item store and you buy it off the community market with a buy order. That's going to be the best way for you to make money as an investment. If you want it as a play skin, then I will recommend buying it off the Rust Item store in case it does go above that $3.60 in the first week. But overall, I do think that the Rainbow Stone is going to be a long-term investment. I still do think you're definitely going to make money from it. It's definitely a very unique looking rock skin, but because it's $3.60 already, it's going to make it a much longer term investment. And if it gets oversaturated, we'll quickly check where it's at on the Rust Item store. It's currently the 3rd spot in the top sellers, but if it gets oversaturated, it's going to end up being like the gold ore rock, and it's going to be the cheapest rock on the community market if it does get oversaturated like that. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. Currently it's at number 3, so I guess that's an alright spot for it to be at the moment. Very unique looking rock skin. I wouldn't really say it's a meme just because there's nothing too crazy going on. I mean, it's just rainbow, so it's not really a meme, but it's definitely a unique looking skin. So overall for the Rainbow Stone, I will recommend investing in it, but I would recommend investing in it once it's gone on to the community market instead, by placing a buy order, trying to get it for a little bit cheaper. Unless you want it as a play skin, as I just said, then I would be buying it off of the Rust Item store and then holding on to it as a play skin and using it until the price increases above $3.60, which it inevitably will, but that will be a longer term investment just because it is already almost $4. Right, and moving over to the tea ceremony knife. I actually do think this is going to be a safe investment, which you probably wouldn't expect me to say. $2.15. It is actually the standard store price for weapons and tools. Definitely a good thing because it is just a combat knife skin. The combat knife skins don't have a very high demand, and that is simply because combat knives really aren't used that much. You can easily replace them with a general tool like the hatchet, for example. But $2.15, I do think that this is going to be a good investment. It's going to be a long-term investment, definitely, just because the demand really isn't there. It's currently the 5th on the top sellers. I think that is an okay spot for it to be at the moment. If it gets any higher, then I will say it's going to be oversaturated. You definitely don't want to have 100 combat knives of the same skin on the community market, because that is going to tank the prices. But it's definitely a unique looking combat knife skin. For that reason, I will recommend investing in the tea ceremony knife for this week, but I do think it will be a longer term investment. Alright, moving over to the Venomous Bow. So this is also a unique looking bow skin, but there is already a lot of unique looking bow skins. So this is a continuation of the Venomous set, but it is going for $3.60. So I definitely see this as a big problem. So there's only 3 pages of bow skins on the community market at the moment, and this is already more expensive than half of them, over half of them. It is a unique looking bow skin, but what I would recommend to do instead of investing in this bow skin on the Rust Item store is to invest in it on the community market once it goes there with buy orders, and that's going to be the easiest way to make profits with this Venomous Bow skin. It will be a longer term investment just because bow skins at the moment, they don't have crazy high demand in my opinion for some reason, even though obviously a lot of people use bows every single wipe at the start, but there doesn't seem to be crazy high demand for bow skins at the moment. It's probably because bows are so easily skipped past, but $3.60, I don't think this one is going to be worth picking up, especially in bulk on the Rust Item store, unless you're willing to hold on to it as a long-term investment. So what I would recommend to do instead, if you do want the Venomous Bow, is to buy it with a buy order on the community market. Unless you're one of those that play skin, then just buy it on the Rust Item store. Right, moving over to the Organic Berry Box. So this one is made by apparently Xeno, and it's also made by Fire. So that is pretty hype. So $2.15, it is also the standard store price. I do think that's definitely a good thing. If the tea does become meta, which, I mean, we'll see if it does or not, but to be honest, I don't think it will at the moment. But if it does, the Organic Berry Box will definitely be in high demand, and that is just because you need the berries in order to craft the teas. So it's going to be good for sorting out your berries and organizing it in your base. So all of that kind of stuff does end up performing quite well, especially as a long-term investment. So overall for the Organic Berry Box, I do think this is going to be a good investment. All wooden storage boxes are above $2.15. You just have to be careful of oversaturation. At the moment, this skin is currently the second last item on the Rust Item store. That's definitely a good thing. Not for Fire, but good thing for investors. And for that reason, I will recommend investing in the Organic Berry Box for this week. I do think it's quite a simple design, and I wish there was something on the end instead of just the this way up with the arrows on each side. But besides that, I do think it is a good looking skin, nice and simple, but a good organizer box. So overall, I do like this skin, and I will recommend investing in it for this week. Alrighty, moving over to one of the highlight skins in my opinion. I wish this was called the OMIGHTY bag, but unfortunately it is not. They didn't change the name, that's okay. So Oxum's Tea, the tea bag, sleeping bag skin, going for above the sleeping bag skin standard store price for $2.90. I do think that this is going to be a pretty risky investment. I do think it's going to be a coin flip. As a long-term investment, I do think it's going to be a good investment, but at the moment, as a short-term investment, I do think it's going to be a little risky. It is currently 4th on the Rust Item store, and I've finally loaded into the server that I'm doing the Zerg with the donators, but going for $2.90, I do think that this tea bag, sleeping bag, should be a relatively safe investment. But I do think it's going to be even safer to be buying it with buy orders on the community market. Teabag Sleeping Bag is definitely a unique skin, and once HDRP comes out, if there's like a muddy kind of area like that, then I do think the Teabag could be a good cheap alternative for camo, especially if you're putting in like muddy area, just because of the mossy look on the Teabag itself. So overall, I do think the Teabag Sleeping Bag is going to be a good investment. I wish it said Sleeping Bag in the name instead of just Teabag, just because that's going to make it a little bit harder for people to find on the community market once it's released, but that is obviously up to the skin creators to sort out when they actually upload skins. Overall, great looking sleeping bag, but a long-term investment, so $2.90. I recommend investing in the Teabag on the Rust Item store, and I'll also recommend to invest in it with buy orders if you want to save a little bit more money and maximize your profits on the community market as well, or instead, in fact. But $2.90, I do think this should be a relatively safe investment for this week. Alrighty guys, moving over to the T Cargo box. This is a large wooden box skin. Also doesn't have large wooden box in its name, but that's okay. Going for $2.15. This is a standard store price skin, and to be honest, I do think that that is a good thing because this skin doesn't really have much going for it in my opinion. Definitely a plain looking skin, very basic. It does look pretty cool, but I don't think that there's really going to be any demand for it once it goes onto the community market. And by the looks of it, there's no demand for it at the moment on the Rust Item store. So just going for $2.90, I don't think this is going to be a very safe investment, even though it's only $2.15. I might be sleeping on the T Cargo box, but I really don't think I am. $2.15. I won't recommend investing in the T Cargo box for this week if you are going to invest in it. as I've been saying for most of these skins, buy it off the community market with a buy order, because I do think it will go below $2.15. If you do want to pick one up, it might be a relatively safe investment as a long-term investment, just because it is on the bottom of the top sellers, so there's going to be a low quantity of them on the community market, but I don't think there's going to be the demand that is going to want people to actually be buying this T cargo box, just because it is such a plain box in my opinion. But $2.15, you can choose what you want to do with this one, but for this week I will not recommend investing in the T cargo box. Alright, moving over to the deployables, we've got the laboratory rolling door. So this one's going for $2.15, and I do actually think this is quite a unique looking garage door skin. So there is unfortunately some downsides to this skin though. Upside is it looks skits, it's like a science-based skin, and pretty much all of the science-based skins in Rust have performed very well. This is going for $2.15, so that's another plus, which is the standard store price for deployables. But the bummer is that it doesn't have any glowing, so I don't think it's going to be crazy bad that it doesn't have any glowing stuff, but it definitely would have increased the price. So if they made that potion glowing bright green or something like that, that definitely would have increased the price a bit in my opinion. But either way, $2.15, as long as the laboratory rolling door doesn't get oversaturated on the community, on the Rust Item store, I do think this is going to be a safe investment. It's currently the 6th on the top sellers, and I do think that's a safe spot for it to be at throughout the whole week. So for $2.15, I will recommend investing in the laboratory rolling door for this week, and I do think it's going to be a safer investment. Alrighty, moving over to the final skin of the week, we got Bad Trip's tea vending machine. So we got a hot tea vending machine going for $2.15, which is the standard store price. Definitely a good thing. Overall, I really do like this vending machine, and it's got some glowing in it, so that's definitely a plus. The hot tea does glow in the dark and looks absolutely fresh. Although the current cheapest vending machine on the community market is $1.42. That's the Oxum's gas pump. That wasn't actually the latest one. The Cobalt Ice Cream was the latest one that came out with the summer themed skins. That's going for $3.40. So I do think that the tea vending machine definitely has potential to go up in price above this $2.15. At the moment, it is the third last on the top sellers, so that's definitely a good spot for it to be at, in my opinion. Obviously there isn't a crazy high demand for vending machines because not really many people use vending machines in their base throughout their Rust wipes, but $2.15, I do think this is definitely going to be a safe investment for this week, unless it gets oversaturated to the max like the Oxum's gas pump did. That's the only reason that one is below its standard store price at $1.40, because there is 164 of them on the community market. So the demand really just isn't going to even match that quantity at all. So $2.15 for this tea vending machine. Unless this goes up into the top 3 top sellers, then I definitely will recommend investing in it for this week, just because I do think it's going to be a safe long-term investment and definitely should make you some money in the long term. So I will recommend investing in the tea vending machine for this week. Alright guys, this is my cart for this week, so I'm just going to be getting one of everything except for that large box I'm not buying, and I'm going to be buying 2 tea bags, sleeping bags, just because I'm going to be giving Lobo one because he makes my thumbnails. So that is what my cart's looking like for this week. I'm just buying one of everything, as I just said, except for the large box. I'm not buying any of them. It's going to cost me $25.20. Not really investing this week, as you can see. I might buy some more stuff later throughout the week, but I really do doubt it. I'm not a massive fan of this week's skins when it comes to investing, but overall the skins are all pretty cool, and I am a fan of most of them. So $25.20. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and remember, have a skits one.
Why? 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 Why?